Alright guys, welcome back to Days of Darkness and welcome to my review of Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. This one came out in 1988. It's starring Doug Bradley, Ashley Lawrence, and Claire Higgins, and was directed by Tony Randall. Now, right out of the gate, I just wanted to say, as I've said multiple times, I haven't seen these movies since I was a really little kid. So going into Hellraiser, I was pretty much blind, and I ended up fucking loving it, as I knew I would. Hellraiser is one of the all-time classic 80s horror movies of all time, so I really wasn't surprised when I ended up enjoying it quite a bit. I was curious how the sequel was going to hold up. I know people had a lot of good things to say about this. I remember watching it when I was a kid, and I watched the whole fucking thing. I know that for a fact. So obviously it held my little kid level brain attention, which I'm still there, kind of, to be fair. But anyways, so I had a feeling it would be good, but I wasn't sure. And I gotta say, while I would definitely hold the first one in higher regard, it's only by this much. I really fucking like this movie, guys. I think this is a very solid entry into this series, and a series that I know, as it goes on, can get a little... So, but for right now, we're doing good. And this also did a really good job of making me want to see what happens next. I won't spoil anything here, obviously, but I'm really curious where they take this series. And so, absolutely expect a review of Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, I think. I think it's Hell on Earth. Definitely expect a video review for that. I really enjoyed this one, so... You'll have to excuse me. Dry throat today for some reason. But anyways, but yeah, cool sequel here. Really, a lot of the positives from the first one are seen here yet again. The music is fucking incredible. The Cenobites are fucking great. But yeah, man. And then the atmosphere, too. The settings that this movie has, in which I won't get into detail. I really think you guys should just go into this like I did. Just completely blind. I remembered some things, but like for the most part, I had no idea. I had no idea what to expect. And I really think you guys should go in like that, too. Go in even more blind than I did, if you can. Watch Hellraiser, obviously, first. And then watch this one. If you can do a back-to-back feature of both of these, I absolutely recommend you do that. But yeah, and then another thing that this movie has going for it is that I fucking adore 80s horror. Let's just get that right out of the way. It's the golden age of horror. While we are in a little bit of a renaissance here with stuff with directors like Ari Aster, and I could fucking go on forever. We are in a golden age of horror right now. Or at least, we're in a renaissance, I should say. But the 80s will forever be the golden age of horror. And Hellraiser is no exception in regards to that. But I don't particularly find a lot of them disturbing personally. Now, I've shown plenty of 80s horror to like my girlfriend, who is not necessarily a horror fanatic by any means. And they scare her. Like I've shown her, God, what was it? Oh, I showed her Alien, and she was, like, fucking freaking out, you know, because she's not a big, seasoned horror person. She's not used to that shit. I am. So it takes a lot more. It takes a lot more to actually get under my skin. No pun intended in regards to this movie. But it takes a lot to get under my skin. And this movie got under my skin. I'm not gonna act like I was checking under my bed or anything like that. But, like, there are some fucking gut-wrenching moments in this movie, man. The Hellraiser series is... I don't know if it's the BDSM shit combined with the gore and all of that, but there's some moments in this film that even kind of fucked me up a little bit. And I was like, oh my god. And we'll get into all that, obviously, in the spoiler section, but... there was some pretty crazy shit in here, and usually I'm just used to standard slasher fare, which, you know, like I said, I am not saying 80s horror is not scary. Let's just get that right out of the way. It's just when you've been watching this shit so long, you kind of get a little callous to it. Doesn't mean these films aren't fucking incredible, but this one went above and beyond and actually kind of got under my skin a little bit, which I really admire for some weird fucking reason. And just to cap off the spoiler-free section, great performances all around. I have one little nitpick. It's the gentleman who played Kyle, I think his name is. Yeah, played Kyle. Fine actor. I didn't have a problem with his performance overall. I don't know if this was a writing thing or just a weird day at the office for him or what the fuck it was. But when he's in the office, who knows? It might just be my weird fucking sense of humor. I really don't know. I wouldn't even call it a negative, to be totally honest, because it entertained me. But when he's in that office looking through whatever he may be looking through, we will get into that because it's integral to the story. But when he's looking at these things and kind of sneaking around, he's just, some of the dialogue is like, he's just like, oh shit. Oh shit. Like he just keeps saying, oh shit. And like, it's just, I don't know. And that's a very loose quote. I know he says other funny shit in that scene, but like, I don't know. It's just something about that scene kind of fucking tickled me. I have a weird sense of humor, and as you guys already fucking know. But that scene was like, I was just kind of chuckling. But that does not speak to the performances in this movie. First of all, the gentleman playing Kyle also does a very good job. Like I said, all love to him. That was just funny. But everybody, fucking Ashley Lawrence as Christy is incredible. I'm not even gonna fucking talk about Doug Bradley as Pinhead. Again, amazing shit here. And then Claire Higgins, who I guess, that's kind of a spoiler. Fucking Julia's back. Sorry. It's kind of all over the fucking poster work and all that for the movie. But at least... Sorry, I spoiled it. Whoopsies. But anyways, yeah, Claire Higgins also as a returning character. Julia, and pretty much the main bad guy of this movie. She also does a fucking fantastic job. Everyone in this movie is great, I would say. Especially, 80s horror has that stereotype of, oh, everyone's a bad actor, which is just not fucking true. Don't get me wrong, they're out there. For sure, but this is not one of them. Everyone in this movie does a fucking fantastic job, in my opinion. And yeah, guys, I would absolutely recommend seeing this. If you haven't seen Hellraiser, obviously watch that first and then watch this. But man, this is a fucking really solid movie, guys, and I highly recommend you check it out. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the spoiler section and let's spoil the shit out of this motherfucker. Alright, spoiler time, your ass has been warned. Now let's just hop right into it. First of all, really cool callback to part 1 with getting to see Frank's kill pretty much in its entirety again. It's my kill of the film for part 1, and man, it was really cool to see it here. Obviously, it's not my kill of the film, that's why I'm talking about it here, but getting fucking ripped apart and the whole Jesus wept line, and has that weird fucking smile on his face, just... beautiful shit, man. Great kill. Oh, man. I'm a fucking weirdo. Anyways. But yeah, the first little bit of actual sequel we get here is the origin of Pinhead. At least a brief, abbreviated version of it. I don't know if we get a more broadened version of that origin later. I don't know if it's fucking retconned or whatever. But for right now, I really fucking enjoyed that little bit that we got. I like that they didn't over-explain. Like, they didn't explain why he had the box. They didn't explain anything. They just showed him in the room, fucking with it. and yeah, man, it was really, really, really cool to see that. And then obviously he unlocks the box and subsequently gets all the cuts in his fucking head and they hammer nails into him. Brutal shit. I absolutely adore it, though. And hell yeah. But yeah, so then we go straight from that and we learn that this is a direct pickup from part 1, which I really enjoy when movies do that, when sequels do that, I should say. it makes you feel like you're watching an extended version of a movie. I remember when I finished Hellraiser, I was like, man, I didn't want this to end. And it's not. It's right here for me. So really cool shit there. Really like that. Christy is taken to the asylum, the mental ward, the cuckoo bin, whatever you want to call it. All respect. I know I've referred to it like that before, and people might take that as disrespect. It's not. 100%, especially coming from me, it's not. But yeah, so obviously she's taken and locked up in this asylum because if you tell the cops that, hey, these demons were chasing my uncle once he escaped from hell and he materialized in my attic, and he then proceeded to court my dad's wife, and they took his skin and he wore it and then got torn apart by the demons. Aside from all the other crazy shit that happens in that movie, they're not going to believe you. So it makes sense that this would be the natural outcome. And from there, she gets a little message from who she believes to be her father, saying, I'm in hell, help me. So she's trying to get to hell. She's trying to go to hell. She knows that it's possible. She just doesn't know how to get there. She even asks the doctor in a really cool little bit of dialogue. She goes, do you know how to get, no, what'd she say? She's like, do you have a ticket to hell? And the doctor just kind of looks at her. He's like, okay. And he fucking leaves. Water. Drink water today, people. Anyways. So that's her whole motivation. And on the other side of that, a doctor who works at the asylum, who I went on IMDb and it says his name is Chenard. So that's what I'm going to call him here. But Chenard is absolutely obsessed with the occult, and he is obsessed with demons and demonology and all that shit, all the satanic stuff, and he ends up finding this mattress, which I probably should have explained that with the Christy shit. So Christy is also insisting that they throw away this mattress, fucking get rid of it. You shouldn't have it, because she knows how Frank was resurrected, and she is afraid that Julia, who died on that mattress, could possibly come back. But obviously they don't believe her since they think she's fucking crazy. Naturally, why wouldn't you? So they don't listen to her, and sure enough, the fucking Dr. Chenard guy gets a hold of the mattress and performs this fucking brutal, I guess you could call it a ritual, I guess. Well, yeah, because he's done so much research on it. I guess you could call it a ritual. But he gets this one guy who... They have multiple little scenes where they go through the halls and there's all these people screaming. Which, by the way, going back to the ambience and the atmosphere of this movie, the asylum is a big part of that. Beautiful, disturbing, crazy shit. I loved when they were panning through the hallways and you hear all this screaming and all this horrible shit, and then all of a sudden, props to the sound design here, it'll transition to some other scene and it'll just be like, zip, gone, done. Sound design, when it's done like that, is fucking beautiful. If you're an amateur filmmaker or whatever, focus, especially horror, focus on sound design. It is so important, and it will take your movie miles away. Good shit there. Anyways, but yeah, man. So he gets a hold of this one guy who's been shown, he's like obviously in a straitjacket, and he's like, get them off me, get them off me. He's just, losing his mind. I mean, he's lost it. He's out of it. He's completely out of it. No going back. He's done. So, being the piece of shit that Dr. Chenard is, he takes this guy and he takes the straitjacket off of him, he lays him down, or he sits him down on this mattress, and he gives him a fucking razor blade. Basically saying, alright, here, get him off. You do it. And I'll go into detail in the kill of the film section later on, but he bleeds quite a bit, and that resurrects Julia, who is a complete skin sack. And at first I was like, why would she be able to come back as a skin sack already when Frank was like, just a bundle of like nerves and shit at one point. And I guess like looking back on it, that guy bled a lot more than the dad did in Hellraiser. So it makes sense. You can kind of piece it together and be like, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, man, really cool scene. She drains the fucking life out of this guy. It's so brutal. And yeah, so then she seduces Mr. Chenard as her like bloody skin sack self. I mean, this dude's into some weird shit. She doesn't have any skin, bro. Like, come on. But really cool stuff. I love the visual of her standing in this all-white apartment. She's just completely red because she's just a bundle of muscles and bone and fucking eyes, I guess. But yeah, man, that was really, really cool to see. And just that visual contrast of the bright red with the white, it looks awesome. Really cool shit. And she's obviously staining the walls with her bloody fucking hands. Really, really cool shit there. We get some other awesome callbacks to part 1, mind you, as well. Just that whole little feud there between Julia and Christy is really cool. That they're picking up on that. Naturally, they would pick up on that. So what happens is Julia is basically doing what she did in the first one, except this time with women. So they're bringing women to this house. I think it's the house from the first one, if I'm not mistaken. If someone wants to let me know in the comments, please. No, actually, I think it's Chenard's house. It's Chenard's house. It is definitely... Yeah, because the old one's a crime scene. It's Chenard's house. Excuse me. But no, man, so they lure them, and she's fucking draining the life force, and I love how she does it, too. She basically just sticks her hand, like, in the back of their head, and just fucking, I don't know, she just kisses them and sucks the life out of them, but holy fuck, man, you see it, too, with Kyle later on. Just completely fucking caves his head in just with her hand, just beautiful stuff. Getting to a little kill of the film here. But hey, whatever, man. That's not my kill of the film, by the way. But really cool stuff. So she ends up running into Christy, and we get a nice little interaction there before they end up going to hell. And so Julia's whole plan is to go back to hell, get revenge on Frank, and then basically take over hell, which is a bold thing to do. I gather that's her plan. I gather that's what she's wanting to do here. And yeah, man, we get Frank back here for a little bit. Quick little scene. I'm fucking jumping ahead. So how they plan on executing getting into hell is obviously the doctor guy has the puzzle box, and there's this young woman named Tiffany. We're gonna go with Tiffany. I'm almost positive it's Tiffany. So they take Tiffany, who is obsessed with puzzles. It's shown multiple times. Even as a little girl, she loves doing puzzles. That's just all she ever fucking does. So they give her the box, and obviously she fucking solves it like that. And then, the gates of hell literally open up, and then there's Pinhead and Chatterer, Butterball, and I looked up all the names for the Cenobites here because I couldn't remember them from part 1. And I don't like that the female Cenobite doesn't have a fucking nickname. She's just female Cenobite. Like, come on, she has a fucking open neck hole that's getting held open by like metal beams. Like, fucking give her something, man. Shit. But anyways, so they all come back. Really, really cool shit, obviously. Pinhead coming back in such an epic way is so cool. He just comes out of the smoke. You can tell here that they kind of knew that Pinhead was the star of these movies, even from here, because people just fucking love Pinhead. That is an iconic image. But yeah, man, so from there, they go to hell, which is, by the way, I love the version of hell in this. It's not all fire and brimstone and all that shit like we're used to seeing, like in Tom and Jerry and all that stuff. It's just this dull, void, smoky place that's just completely drained of all life. It's just so depressing. Which, I mean, obviously I wouldn't want to go to either version of hell, but that just seems fucking bogus, man. Plus, like, it's shown when Julia eventually kicks Channard to the curb. She's like, man, fuck you, I got what I wanted, bye. And she basically sticks him in this torture chamber, and all these fucking things get put into him, and the fluids getting drained into him, and all this crazy shit. Or injected into him, I should say. And yeah, man, he's just in this concrete crypt almost, and he just goes down into the ground, and he's just stuck there. So then you think, is this whole place just filled with people under the fucking ground just being tortured? Brutal shit. And then we get Channard coming back as a Cenobite too, which we'll get into that. That's really cool. But for now, he's fucking dead. Julia ends up getting her revenge on Frank, and when Christy runs into him, and it's revealed that Frank was the one calling out to her from hell, not her dad. I guess her dad's in heaven, which, you know, I don't know why she wouldn't think that. I don't know why she would think he's in hell, but, you know, whatever. She's obviously not really thinking clearly. But yeah, it was Frank who gave her that message, and he's trying to basically enslave her in hell for all eternity. But Julia kind of saves Christy's ass here when she pulls out Frank's heart and gives the same fucking mean-spirited, like, nothing personal babe that he gave to her in the first one when he fucking stabbed her and betrayed her. So nice little wrap-up. Excuse me, I just spit everywhere. That's gross. Nice little wrap-up as far as that's concerned. Really cool. I like that they follow up on things in this. There are sometimes in sequels where stuff just gets left, and it's just... So I always admire when they pick up a story like that, even if it's for a couple seconds. Really, really enjoyed that. And she got her fucking revenge, man. It was really, really cool to see that, even if she is the fucking bad guy. and yeah, let's just talk about the Cenobites real quick while we're at it, talking about all the cool shit in this. The Cenobites are really cool, and there's some exploration there, not just with Pinhead, but with all of them, in the form of when Channard comes back as the Cenobite, and he looks fucking killer, by the way. And he has an awesome line when he first comes out of it, and he's all, like, blue and fucked up. He doesn't have the tentacle on him yet, but he, like, looks around, and he's like, and to think, I hesitated. Like, really, really cool line there. And then this fucking thing has this, like, screwdriver-looking fucking thing, and it drills into his head. And I love his scream, which I'm not even going to attempt to impersonate to make a further ass out of myself on this channel. But he has some cool shit in here, and his hands fucking... The stop motion photography is incredible. His fingers can morph into different, like, little doctor tools, like scalpels and all sorts of wild shit. And yeah, man, really, really cool stuff there. So he ends up fighting the Cenobites, and we get a babyface turn from the Cenobites. Christy runs into him, and before they actually entered hell in the office, she sees that Pinhead was at one time. She sees a human version of Pinhead, which is like kind of blows her mind, and would have blown the audience's mind if we didn't see him as a human in the beginning of the movie. But so she even says, she's like, you all were human at one point, and they all kind of like look around, and Pinhead's like insistent on, no, let's just fucking torture her. That's what we're here to do. And then she gives him the photo, and he's like, wait, I remember. And then he basically saves Christy's ass. Christy gets saved a lot in this movie, which is ironic considering what she does at the end of the movie. But he basically reverts back to his human form. He still has the Pinhead get up on, but he just reverts back to just regular ass Doug Bradley or whatever his name was before he was fucking Pinhead in this movie. And yeah, man, and I said before that it was a fight. It's not really a fight. The Channard Cenobite really does just dispatch these guys pretty quickly, and honestly, rather anticlimactically. I don't want a full-blown Mortal Kombat fight or anything like that, but I would have liked a little more offense from the Cenobites. That's just me. But yeah, man, and when he kills all of them, he like drives stakes through their throats and shit and all this crazy stuff. And they revert back to their human form, which was kind of weird. Especially there's like a kid. There's like a little kid Cenobite. I think he was Chatterer, I think, or he was one of them. But yeah, there's a little kid. There's a fat guy. There's a chick. All this stuff. Obviously, the fat guy's Butterball. Ha ha ha. But yeah, man, fucking gnarly shit. And even before they get killed, Pinhead just looks over at Christy and smiles in this really weird scene. Is like, you fucking ripped apart my uncle, but thanks, I guess. And she runs off with Tiff, and they get the fuck out of there. So yeah, so once the Channard Cenobite, I'm really not doing a good job recapping this story. That's not the goal. I'm just talking about why this movie fucking rules. So once that happens, they think they escape from hell, but they don't. And Channard Cenobite's back, and he fucks up a whole shitload of the patients that are in there. And this like makeshift hospital that he has for himself, that he just made like that. That's how powerful these Cenobites are in hell. Really cool shit. But he ends up pursuing them out to this like balcony type thing in hell, and man, from there he is a simp to the end, because previous to this I totally glossed over Julia's death. Julia, they're in this like wind tunnel thing. It's kind of weird because she's shown to be able to walk pretty easily in this wind tunnel, so I don't know what the hell happened, but Tiffany grabs her arm. And I guess, I'm not sure why, but she just tries to grab her arm to help her for some fucking reason. But yeah, man, she basically just, her meat sack self flies out of this artificial skin that she has, and it's fucking gross, man. You see that, you just see that skin sack just flap on the ground, and it's like, but it's cool, and it actually plays an integral part of the movie. So Julia's dead, but the audience is fooled by that for a second, because I almost said Frank. Channard has Tiffany cornered, and he's about to fucking kill her, and then all of a sudden Christy comes back wearing Julia's skin, and you don't see it at first. The audience just thinks it's Julia, but who's somehow back somehow. But, and Channard also doesn't know it, because he is a simp to the end, and even though she shoved him in this fucking thing and made him like this, which I guess he actually likes, so he's probably thankful for it. But, yeah, then they start making out, and, essentially he ends up getting killed by this, I can't remember how it fucking happens, which is pissing me off. But they basically, oh yeah, the fucking tentacle thing just, like, tears this dude's head off like in half, kind of like the wrong turn kill from the last review. Like half of his head is just ripped off, and you just see it flying through the air. Fucking brutal shit. I love it. And then yeah, man, Tiffany and Christy. It's the two E names. It's fucking me up. Tiffany and Christy get out of there pretty quickly. They have to get out of there because the Leviathan, which it reverted to this like spear looking thing the puzzle box did when Julia got a hold of it, and it's reverting back to Pinhead's just puzzle box, and so they have to get the fuck out of there before hell closes up forever, and they're able to. They get out of there just in the nick of the time. Why did I say that? Just in the nick of the time. No, they get out of there in just the nick of time, and Indiana Jones style, like the walls are closing in, and they just slide through there. really cool shit. And then that's the end of the movie for the most part until we get this weird scene where they're renovating the house from part one, and we get this weird like hell pillar, I guess I'll call it that. The mattress kills the one guy, and then this fucking hell pillar comes out, and it's like Pinhead's head in it and shit, and like just all sorts of weird shit going on with that thing. But no, man, it was really cool. It was cool to see that as a nice little special effect. And the one bearded guy, I guess it's supposed to be Frank. I'm not sure who it was supposed to be, but he just looks at the other construction worker or renovator or whoever he is and just goes, "What's your pleasure?" And then the movie ends. I'm not sure if that's going to play a role in part 3, seeing Pinhead in that when he reverted back to Doug Bradley form. Doesn't really make sense, so I'm assuming that's just going to be, because I know Pinhead obviously comes back along with the rest of them, so I don't know if that's just going to be, if that was just a fun little silly ending to put in there or what. But overall, like I said, did not do a good job giving this story justice. I'm sure I bounced around a lot, but this is a really fucking cool movie, guys. I really, really recommend you go out and watch it. Go out of your way to watch it. Download Shudder. Seriously, an amazing service. Again, no, not sponsored by them. Really, really, really wish I was. Shudder. I'm playing. But anyways, guys, that'll wrap it up for the review portion. But we still have to get into the blood, the guts, the gory bits. We gotta get into my kill of the film. Stick around. Also, stick around for a fun little announcement for the next review, which I think you guys are really, really, really gonna fucking like. Okay, now fuck off. Next portion. Hellbound Hellraiser 2 has plenty of good things going for it, as I've already stated. A lot of good positives from part 1 are shared with part 2, and one of those things is the fucking blood and the guts. And the brutality from part 1 is shared with this one. Holy fuck. I kind of spoiled what it is detail-wise, but we'll just get into it. Screw it. Kyle's kill, or Kyle's death, Julia's kill of Kyle, I should say, where she just sinks her fucking hand into the back of his head and sucks the life force out of him. Beautiful shit. Love this panning shot behind her, and then he's just all of a sudden gray and fucking veiny and just dies. Really cool shit there. Not the most bloody kill in the world, but it was fucking brutal. The mattress ritual with the poor patient. They're basically inmates in that asylum. It's fucking horrible in there. But the poor patient who is constantly saying, "Get them off me," he gives him the razor, and he just starts fucking cutting himself all over the place, which tells you that this was made in the 80s, because obviously the whole, cutting yourself is a very sensitive topic, and I don't think they would have been able to get away with a scene like that today. but they got away with it here, and holy fuck, it's brutal as shit. He just starts fucking just cutting everywhere, and he's basically bleeding out once Julia gets to him. She obviously doesn't have her full strength yet, because she just got raised back from the dead, and fuck, man, just crawls over to him, is able to catch up to him because this guy's bleeding out, he's dying, and she just sucks on his neck, and just fucking, this dude starts swelling up and pulsating, and he's just, oh, dude, it's fucking brutal. I was highly debating that possibly being the kill of the film. It's not, but it was really, really close. But Chenard's first death, when Julia shoves him into the concrete crypt thing, and he fucking just gets all these things poked into him and sucks the fucking life out of him. Or no, they inject some shit into him. I don't know what it is. Maybe, actually, in hindsight, maybe it was their plan for him to be a Cenobite. Who fucking knows? But at any rate, it's a fucking great kill. It's not his kill, but it's the death of his human form. Lots of other cool shit here, man. But I really, really... Also, the Cenobites have cool kills. I kind of They're a little one note. They all just get fucking impaled by shit and stuff. But just that whole them reverting back to their human form and seeing a kid impaled on a fucking spike is like, what the fuck? But really cool stuff there. But easily the Channard kill with him getting his fucking head torn off. Really, really quick, really brutal. But man, actually no, it's not quick. What the fuck am I talking about? This dude gets fucking just slow as shit. His head just and his head just pops off. You see half of his head like that, just floating around on that weird tentacle thing. Absolutely awesome shit. There's plenty of fun gore in this movie. All the patients getting chopped up by Channard's weird finger things is glorious. But easily, Channard Cenobite's death is top tier in this movie. So, that'll do it for Hellraiser 2. A little behind the scenes here. This review was hell to fucking record. I got a new camera. Thought I wasn't going to be able to do it on here. I was, thankfully. I tried to record it on the old phone, tried to record it on this one, then I went back and fucking yada, yada, yada. So, it feels really good to be done with this review. As much as I love this, as much as I love doing this shit, it feels good to be done with this one. And it's also going to feel really, really good to announce my next review. 31st review. This is the 30th, by the way. Thank you guys so much for supporting this channel and supporting me and my dream. It's fucking awesome. It's incredible. And I figured, you know, we're only going to ever have one 31st review. We're only going to ever have one. No, it's not Rob Zombie's 31. Don't worry. But all love to Rob Zombie. If people are going to think I'm a fucking Rob Zombie hater, I'm not. But I'm like, fuck, man. 31? October 31st? Why the fuck would we not use our 31st review to talk about my favorite horror movie of all time? Next time on Days of Darkness, we're going to be reviewing Halloween, 1978, the John Carpenter classic. I am very, 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 very excited to get into that with you guys. Spoiler alert, it's going to be a long one because I have a lot of shit to say. Anyways, guys, we will get into that the next time. Because I am just tempted to talk about it right now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to fucking hold my tongue. So, all right, guys. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for the patience waiting on this review. And, yeah. Thank you, guys. Keep watching horror and take care of each other. And keep watching horror. I fucked my intro up, but I'm not going to do it again. Have a good one, guys.